Hi, friends. Welcome to Beyond Brokenness. This is Abby Watson, and you're listening to our short devotional series called Just a Word. In each episode, we'll take one word or a simple thought and look at it through the lens of Scripture, letting God use it to remind us, teach us, and shape us right in the middle of everyday life. Here's Alicia with today's word.
Thank you for joining me again today. And today's word I want to give you is the word remember. It may not feel like a strong word. It doesn't roar, doesn't shake the mountains. But if you've ever walked through darkness, you know that remembering can be the very thing that saves you. Because when you can't see what God is doing, you have to remember what He's already done. The problem is we forget. Not just where we left our keys, but what He's done in our lives, what we've seen, what we've tasted, what we've lived. And so God told His people over and over and over again, remember. Remember when I parted the sea. Remember when I rained bread from heaven. Remember when I turned bitter water sweet. Remember when I brought you out of bondage with a mighty hand. But they forgot. And I do too. I forget when the bills pile up. I forget when the pain won't let up. I forget when prayers go unanswered. I forget when fear shouts louder than faith. I forget that the God who was faithful still is. But remembering is how I fight to believe again. It's not just a memory exercise, it's spiritual war. Because when the present feels too uncertain, and when the future feels too frightening, the past, what God has already done, becomes a lifeline. I remember nights when I wanted to give up, but somehow found the strength to get through. I remember tears in hospital beds, but also the comfort that came with them. I remember moments of impossible need and unexpected provision that could only be God. I remember who I used to be before He found me and how far He's brought me. And that's why in Deuteronomy 6, God says, when the Lord thy God shall have brought thee into the land, then beware lest thou forget the Lord. Isn't that something? God warns us that the greatest threat to our faith is not always suffering. Sometimes it's comfort. It's settling in. It's forgetting how much we needed Him when we were desperate. And that's why He told them, write it on your doorposts. Tie it on your hands. Tell your children and your children's children. He needs to be remembered. We need to remember. Because when the next battle comes, when the next storm rises, you need to say to your soul, I've been here before. He was faithful then, and He will be again. There's a scene from this movie called Matrix, which I have never seen, and I don't even know if it's good or not. But I've read this quote from it, and I love it. It's where the character Morpheus stands before a frightened people, and he says this. He says, we have a difficult time ahead of us, but if we are to be prepared for it, we must first shed our fear of it. I stand here before you now, truthfully unafraid. Why? Because I believe something you do not? No. I stand here without fear because I remember. I remember that I am here not because of the path that lies before me, but because of the path that lies behind me. You know, that's what I want to live like. Not fearfully guessing what's next, but faithfully remembering what's already been. We don't always need a new sign. Sometimes we just need to go back and look again at the old ones. And when we do, our faith gets legs, not from wishful thinking, but from a trail of evidence etched into our own stories. Remembering doesn't mean we don't still ache. It doesn't mean the questions vanish. But it does mean we stop accusing God of being absent when He's already proven He's near. If you're in a dark season right now and everything in you wants to doubt, let me encourage you. Before you cry out, "Where is God?" take a moment to whisper, "Where has He been?" The answer may surprise you, because in the remembering, you'll find He never left. And if He's never left, you can walk forward with peace, because the path ahead may still be hard, but the God who's walked behind you is the same one walking beside you now. So let's remember. Lamentations 3:21-22 says, "This I recall to mind, therefore I have hope. It is of the Lord's mercies that we are not consumed, because His compassions fail not. This I recall to mind, and I have hope." Let's remember the goodness and faithfulness of our God. Until next time, my friends, God bless.
Thank you for joining us today on Just a Word. If you would like to find out more about Alicia Ragan and her ministries, please visit us at www.voiceforthevulnerable.org.